So just to clarify, you're saying, say someone buys this monitor, they'll be able to bend it and unbend it 7 times a day for
10 years.
10 years.
Yep.
Okay, gosh, that's pretty good. Alright guys, Dominic here for Kit Guru. I'm actually in Corsair HQ right now, and I'm joined by Zach from Corsair, and we're here to talk about the new Xeneon Flex OLED screen. So you might have seen Leo was out at Gamescom last week, and he came across this very interesting, very new display from Corsair. First of all, Zach, I just want you to kind of set the scene. We're going to get into a lot of technical details. We've had some questions from different readers. First of all, kind of why are we here? Why should we care about this new screen?
Well, this is a fantastic kind of flagship product for us. It's a really premium item. We've got a 45-inch bendable panel. It's got 3440 by 1440 resolution, 240 hertz refresh rate. The response times are incredible. We're talking 0.03 millisecond gray to gray and 0.01 millisecond pixel on off. At 240 hertz, that basically minimizes any form of motion blur or ghosting that you'll see at all. So it's really incredible. Along with, on top of that, you've got incredible HDR support and Adobe sRGB at 100% and DCI P3 as well at 98.5. So it's kind of the perfect screen for whatever you're doing.
Okay, so we're talking Corsair's gone very premium, very cool, and obviously bendable.
Yes,
We've not seen this before from anyone.
Yeah.
So we obviously, you touched on some of the key, I guess, panel specifics, which we are going to get to, but I kind of want to start by taking us back to the very beginning. So when I first got an email in my inbox saying Corsair was doing a bendable display with LG, I was like, what? So can you just kind of tell us, does Corsair go to LG with this idea, or does LG say, hey guys, we've got this idea, do you want to do it?
Yeah, so LG, really, they came to us. They had this fantastic technology with the panel, and they really wanted to sort of reach out to a premium gaming brand who are already really well established in the marketplace. So they came to us, and yeah, the partnership developed from there, really.
So just to kind of confirm, LG comes to you and says, we have this panel and we want it to be bendable, or do they just give you the panel and Corsair decides, let's bend it? Yeah,
so they designed the panel. They had that sort of like specification in mind, and then they brought that slowly to development, and then they reached out to us and they were like, right, we want to partner with that premium brand to really break into that gaming space. We know you're a high-end company, and we know we want to get that product out there, so you're the kind of guys that we want to partner with, and that's basically how it all began, really.
Right, okay. So I think most people watching this video are thinking, firstly, bendable screen, that's pretty crazy, but also we had a few kind of reader questions. A lot of people seemingly wondering how many people actually are going to bend their display kind of on a regular basis. Is it kind of the thing, you might get it and think, for a day or two, I'm going to bend it back, and then you just, after that, you just leave it? Or how many people are actually going to use the bending feature?
It's one of those things, it's a feature that you don't realize you need until you start using it. So as an example, like if you're really into design work and Photoshop and things like that, then having a flat screen is fantastic for that, because you've got those perfect lines with no distortion whatsoever, and you can work on those kind of like squares and boxes and things like that. Additionally, if you're playing games like FIFA, where you've got lines on a pitch, really useful to have a flat panel. Yeah. But then if you change your mind later in the day, you want to play an RTS or a more immersive sim, then having that ability to be able to bend that inwards and then have an 800R curve radius or something along those lines is really useful and really nice to have. And it's a fantastic feature. Cinematic is another one as well. So if you do watch content at home on Netflix, again, you can just go straight back to that flat kind of panel.
So I guess for movies as well, the 21:9 aspect ratio.
Yeah, so no black bars. It's just it's perfect for that, really. Yeah.
And you mentioned it comes out to a maximum of 800R.
Yes.
And obviously from 800R to flat. Is it defined steps on the way, or can it kind of be anywhere in between? So you could get 1002 R curve or whatever.
Yeah. So there's 5 steps total. One of those steps is obviously straight and flat. And then you've got the full 800R on the other end, so you've got the 3 in the middle of that. Those are something we're still kind of like ironing out the details on.
Right.
But yeah, so it's something we're sort of going to qualify later. Properly.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So Zach, you just kind of mentioned there might be some changes along the way. Can you just I guess, spell out for us between now and in a few months' time, or whatever it may be, when retail versions actually hit the shelves? Obviously, behind us we've got an early prototype, but what sort of changes, or if any changes, can we expect to see come the final retail samples?
Yep, so it's going to look very similar. We're looking to improve the base and also improve the handle mechanism, as they're going to be retractable. We want to make that a little bit easier. But we're also looking to refine the mechanism on the back of the unit as well. So we're aiming for up to 10,000 cycles effectively. So a cycle is a full bend out and then back in.
Okay.
You should be able to do that for 7 times a day, every day for 10 years.
Okay, so just to clarify, you're saying, say someone buys this monitor, they'll be able to bend it and unbend it 7 times a day for
10 years.
10 years,
Yep.
Okay, gosh, that's pretty good. Kind of on that topic as well, we had a couple of questions. Is the bending itself kind of integral to the stand? Is there any way you could maybe attach this to your own wall mount or custom stand and still have the bend, or is it the complete package?
It's at the moment it's the complete package. So the circuitry and the componentry is actually in the housing in the back of the unit,
Right.
which is separate to the panel itself.
Okay.
And then there's a ribbon cable that runs from that
Yeah.
to the componentry effectively.
You don't want to pull that out.
Yeah, no, you don't. You absolutely don't want to do that. We're looking at other ways of mounting it. So we're particularly like possibly a desk clamp.
Okay.
But that'll be later down the line at
Right.
this point.
I've got some more questions about, I guess, longevity, build quality, warranty. We'll come to that in a little bit. I want to touch on the panel itself. Obviously, we know Rudy talks about the collaboration with LG. It's their OLED technology. We have had a few questions about the resolution. So obviously, it's a 45-inch 3440 by 1440. And I know in the press release I got from Corsair, they said there's 81% more screen area with this 45-inch panel compared to your typical 34-inch ultra-wide.
Yes, yeah.
So I think a few people are maybe a bit worried because it's significantly larger, but still the typical 3440 by 1440. Is that resolution just maybe a bit low, would you say?
It's not in how we look at it. So ideally, you sit around 600 to 800 mil away from the screen usually.
Okay.
And in the case of Xeneon Flex, when you're at that distance, it's not noticeable. And the big advantage to this is that, you have that 3440 by 1440. You can drive that at 240 hertz a lot easier than say 3840 at 1600 or a full 4K resolution like that. This is the pinnacle of what LG has managed to achieve with this panel, and they really wanted to hit that 240 hertz mark with those response times and that color accuracy that we were talking about earlier. So yeah, it's definitely I can understand that, but honestly it's not something you notice when you're using it, at least not from my perspective.
We also saw talk of, I think it was 1,000 nit peak brightness.
Yes.
I'm going to assume that's in HDR, probably a fairly small window size.
It's 3%.
3% window size. Do you know the full screen sustained brightness?
Yeah,
we
it's
can go
150 nits.
150 nits. Okay.
Yeah.
Still on the topic of the panel, then, Zach. I think probably the burning question, if you excuse the pun, is the burn-in. Everyone's always a bit, we're still not really sure. OLED monitors haven't been around for that long, and you obviously have more static content on a PC than you would on a TV, for instance.
Yep.
Can you talk a bit about any prevention measures that you have in this monitor? And I think also we might as well bring in the warranty here as well, because people want to know, 2 or 3 years down the line, if they do get burn-in, are they screwed?
Yeah, so with the Xeneon Flex, there are a number of technologies acting behind the scenes. Every time you turn the panel off or the monitor off, the screen goes through a full pixel refresh on every single pixel. So there's lots of stuff happening behind the scenes as well. There's also some auto dimming stuff. There's going to be more that we're working with LG to add to that.
Okay.
On top of that, we've got a 3-year warranty, which includes burn-in as well.
Right.
So you are covered for 3 years in any eventuality like that.
Having touched on the warranty there, I think probably there's a few more concerns that we've heard from our readers. The first one was in regards to the flexible nature of the screen itself. Obviously, we've got flexible phones like from the likes of Samsung or Motorola, and they can show up with creasing over time. I don't know, is that expected to be a problem for the Flex or? Is it?
Yeah, no, it's not something we're anticipating. LG have said the panel is, you can bend that panel almost to an infinite number of times without seeing any damage on it.
Okay.
So yeah, it's not something we're expecting to be a problem.
Okay, and that was also kind of my follow-up question then. Is there expected to be any, not just, I guess, on the, any creasing would be on the coating to the panel. If you bend it, would it do anything to the actual pixels or over time?
No, since its inception, really, OLED has been almost designed to be more bendable than like a standard liquid crystal display, and things along those lines. So no, we're not expecting that to be the problem at all, really. Okay,
excellent. I think probably then I just want to round out. Can you tell us about pricing? Obviously, nothing's been announced yet. I don't know.
Yeah, we can't discuss pricing at the moment.
What, ballpark?
No, okay. I cannot tell you anything. We're expecting production to ramp up late this year, and then for it to be available next year, early next year.
Early next year. What about when people can expect a review? Any sooner?
Oh, I can't tell you that.
No.
Okay. Sorry.
Okay. And finally, then, Zach, we've got a big 45-inch screen behind us. Are we going to see Flex come to maybe 32-inch, 27-inch?
I can't talk about upcoming products, I'm afraid, or unreleased products.
Brilliant. Well, thanks, guys, for watching. I thank you so much, Zach, for your time and answering all my questions. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Obviously, we are going to try and come to you with a review of the Xeneon Flex OLED as soon as we get one. So, Zach, make sure I'm first on the list. Any more questions you have, guys, things you want to see covered in the review, do let me know down in the comments below. I've been Dominic for Kit Guru. Thanks very much to Zach from Corsair for joining us. Like and subscribe, do all that YouTube stuff, ding that notification bell, and I will see you in the next video.